Hi everybody, it's Nikki here, and say it with me. It's Bookgammon time! Yes, it is that time of the month where I play my TBR game Bookgammon, which is based on the board game Backgammon, to help pick my upcoming TBR for the month. So, let me put her down, because you know she gets noisy. Okay, so, a couple of changes for the new year. First of all, the game board hasn't changed in itself. I'm still using the same game board as last year, not the special edition ones. Those will be returning this year for Halloween and Christmas, but the normal game board is returning because I felt it was still in good condition. It was still in its prime. So there was no need to replace her. She still had plenty of life left in her, God bless her. But the way that I am changing gameplay this year is I am not pressuring myself. I'm not putting too much pressure on it. I'm basically, I've reduced my Goodreads goal. I am putting my Goodreads goal down to 50, the lowest I have ever done. The minimum I've put has been 100, because I don't find myself having the time to read like I used to. I have other interests now. I have a Switch. Well, I have a Switch Lite, which I never thought of myself as a gamer until I got a Switch Lite for Christmas a couple of years back. And then I got into Animal Crossing, then I got into Disney Dreamlight Valley, and now I'm into Palia. So, nothing to do with Bookgammon, but there you have it. I'm playing games now, and no, I will not be doing any gaming content on this channel. I figure makeup and books is more than enough to confuse the algorithm. So, yeah, so I'm doing other things, and I also want to be more sociable this year as well, try and go out a bit more, and maybe a bit of fitness thrown in, you know, to try and lose some weight. You never know what might happen. I'm not making resolutions this year, because I never stick to them, so what's the point? I will just see how it goes. So yeah, all of that to say is, I am I'm not playing gameplay as I would normally with two pieces on the board. I'm only going to be playing with one piece. Now, I only ever played with one piece if I wanted a really easy month. Maybe I had a very busy month or something, or I was in a reading slump maybe. Normally I would play with two, but I am going to reduce it down to one. That may mean I only have 3 or 4 books, like I generally do when I play with One Piece. But you know what? That leaves me open to mood read, and I think that's what I need for a while. I still want to play Bookgammon. I still want to have that little TBR pile to say, okay, just read these. Because tell you something, trying to pick my star book and my bomb book today, I'm looking at my books going, I have no idea what to pick. And that's sad, because when I'm looking at my book collection right now, there's nothing jumping out at me going, I really want to read that, because I'm feeling the pressure. I'm feeling the pressure to read. And you know, my daughter only read 7 books last year, but she can remember every single one that she read. I can't remember the books I read last month. So, yeah, I'm going to slow down my reading, enjoy what I'm reading more, so I'm only going to be playing with one piece. The other change to the board is, previously I had each coloured triangle on the board represent a different genre. So we had red for thrillers, pink for contemporaries, blue for fantasy, and so on and so forth. I am no longer going to restrict that. The reason why I started it that way is because if I was going to pick a book, I was always going to pick a fantasy, and it meant my thrillers and my contemporaries, my mangas and graphic novels were getting left on the shelf and they weren't being read. Well, I have read a lot of them now, and I don't have very many of those left on my shelves, because I keep seeing this thing on, I don't have TikTok, but I know it's come from TikTok, but I've seen it on Reels on Instagram, and it's saying you don't have to read outside of your comfort zone. You don't have to. You should just read what you want to read and feel no guilt about it. And you know what? I'm going to. So if I want to pick up a fantasy and read it for an original classic prompt, then I'm going to, you know. So the prompt that I will pick will be coordinated to the colour that I land on, but I don't specifically have to stick to a genre when picking my book. So if I land on an orange, which was originally a classic, but I get quite an open prompt, like I don't know, a book with a relationship in the title, so man, husband, wife, daughter, you know, anything like that, and I have, I don't know, 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo, I can read that instead of having to pick from the classic, you know, genre. So yeah, that's the main changes to the game. But yeah, let's get into it. So normal housekeeping, I am not bringing over any books that I didn't get to in December as my priority picks in January, mainly because a lot of them were sort of December Christmassy themed. So I'm not in that mood anymore. So no priority picks for this month, but I do have my Bond book and my Star book. Now, I can't remember where I put my Star book and my Bond book token, so I'm going to have to find those before next month. But I can show you the books that I picked. So for my Bond book, I looked to my These Books Will Self-Destruct in 12 Months video that I did back in December. And I decided the one that that I could feel like I could manage this month if I land on it, is Malorie Blackman's Noughts and Crosses. So this one is Callum is a Nought, second-class citizen in a world run by the ruling Crosses. Seffi is a cross, daughter of one of the most powerful men in the country. In their world, Noughts and Crosses simply don't mix, and as hostility turns to violence, can Callum and Seffi possibly find a way to be together? They are determined to try, and then the bomb explodes. I do believe that this is a sort of black and white. I know the cover shows that, but I feel like if I remember rightly, Seffi is a black person and Callum is a white person. So you have, you know, race in here as well, dividing them, as well as, you know, class, sort of separating them. So kind of a Romeo and Juliet, but with race rather than class. Anyway, I am excited for it, but it's a Bond book because it's been on my TBR for a while, and I have the 3rd book, I believe, in the series, but I don't have the 2nd. So I want to read this to see if I need to buy the 2nd or if I can just unhaul both this one and the 3rd one that I have, or what. So yeah, it's a Bond book for that reason, not because I don't think I will enjoy it. So there we go. That's the Bond book. And then for the Star book, as I say, I was looking at my collection and sadly nothing was jumping out going, read me now. So I don't know what's wrong. Anyway, I decided to go with Shatter Me by Tahereh Mafi because this is one of the series that has been sat on my shelf for the longest time. I have the box set. I have the box set of these and I still haven't gotten to them. And I keep looking at the novellas. I believe that the shop The Works here in the UK has the box set of the novellas for sale on their website, and I keep looking at them thinking I could buy them to go with my box set for. I haven't read the first book yet, and I've had these for years. I'm sure I bought these back in 2019, something like that. So I'm going to read the first book before I even allow myself. Well, I'm going to try if I land on the Star token. There's me assuming that it's going to be picked. But it says I have a curse, that's crossed out. I have a gift. I'm a monster, I'm more than human. My touch is lethal, my touch is power. I am their weapon, I will fight back. Fragile teenage girls held captive, locked in a cell by the re-establishment. A harsh dictatorship in charge of a crumbling world. But Juliet is no ordinary teenager. One touch from her can kill. The re-establishment wants to use her as a weapon, but Juliet has other plans. After a lifetime without freedom, she's finally discovered the strength to fight back and to find a future with the one person she thought she'd lost forever. So, yes, that is my Starbuck. So, let's go to gameplay and see what Bookgammon has in store for me this month. Fingers crossed, fingers crossed, fingers crossed. Okay, so we have the board. No new board for today. I thought this board was still looking in its prime, so we have the same board. We have our prompts here, so let me give them a shuffle. There we go. And the final cut. And we'll put them to the side. We have our dice, we have our piece, and we have the Starbuck and the Bombbook token. So let's go positive first. We'll do the star token first. So that is going on space 15. So 12, 13, 14, 15. So it's going to be on this contemporary space here. And the bomb token, number 19. So 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. So it's going on the yellow space here. So our first roll, 2 and a 5, so that's 7. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So you want the orange prompt. And this prompt is really going to be a classic, even though we're not doing genres this year, because the prompt for this one is pre-1900s. And I really don't think there's any fantasy that I could read that's pre-1900s. No, I don't even think Lord of the Rings is pre-1900s, so I couldn't even put that in. So we are reading a classic for this one. Our second roll. Oh, I thought that was a double then. So we got a 2 and a 3, so that's 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this time we're going for the pink prompt. And for this one, our prompt is a sporting chance. Now that could mean a sporty theme, or maybe I'm giving it a second chance, or maybe a come in last kind of book, so the last one that I would pick up, anything like that. Maybe it's got a trophy on the cover, anything to do with sports, either in the name, in the title, in the cover, it doesn't matter. Okay, I think I can do that. Our third roll. Can we get the Starbuck? No. So 10, a 4 and a 6. So 10, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So another pink prompt. Ooh, a man's name in the title. I'm sure I can find one for that. And our final roll. Yeah, a 4 and a 1. So we are home. 1, 2, and we're home. So just a couple of books there, but we didn't win the star or the bomb book. So let's put them back to the middle. And let's flip a coin. So we have our coin here. Let's flip the coin. We'll go heads for Starbuck and tails for Bombbook. And we have the heads, so we get the Starbuck. What a great start to 2024. So that was it. That was gameplay for January. Did you like the way we played? It's not too different to how we would normally play it. I've just got to get used to not saying, oh, we got a contemporary prompt, or oh, we got a classic prompt. And I think I did say that for the first space we landed on. I can't remember. Anyway, so for our first roll, we did get the orange prompt, not the classic prompt, the orange prompt. And the prompt was pre-1900s. Now, I did say that, oop, I think that's going to have to be a classic. But then I thought, what about some of my historical fantasies? Maybe I could throw one of those onto the pile, because I really don't fancy reading classics, and I shouldn't have to if I don't want to. So I do have this one. This is The Mercies by Karen Millward Hargrave. I've read quite a few of her books and have enjoyed every single one of them. There isn't a bad one amongst them. And this takes place in 1617. Now, it is set around Christmas, so we're a little late. But on Christmas Eve, 1617, the sea around the remote Norwegian island of Vardø is thrown into a reckless storm. As Maren Magnusdatter watches, 40 fishermen, including her father and brother, are lost to the waves, the menfolk wiped out in an instant. Vardø is now a place of women. 18 months later, a sinister figure arrives, summoned from Scotland to take control of a place at the edge of the civilized world. Absalom Cornet knows what he needs to do to bring the women of Vardø to heel. What are we, dogs? With him travels his young wife, Ursa. In Vardø and in Maren, Ursa finds something she has never seen before. Independent women. Go us. But Absalom sees only a place flooded with a terrible evil, one he must root out at all costs. Inspired by the real events of the Vardø storm and the 1621 witch trials, The Mercies is a story about how suspicion can twist its way through a community and a love that may prove as dangerous as it is powerful. So, and there you go. Something that I've always said, you know how some people believe that women were created after men, if you believe in Christianity and God and, you know, heaven and stuff, that women were created from man, from his rib. So we were created second, therefore men, you know, are the dominant. I say, in my belief, that God created man, realised that if man is left to his own devices, he'll get up to some stupid stuff. Watch men when they get together. They're the ones cliff diving, they're the ones riding bikes without helmets and doing stupid stuff that gets them hurt. Okay, so God thought, I don't have time to keep an eye on these men that I've created. I need someone who's going to look over them, watch over them, and keep them from doing stupid stuff. So he created women. We are here on this earth to stop men from killing themselves, basically, doing stupid stuff. So that's what I believe. We're not secondary. We're actually here to help men. So that's my belief. I'm sticking to it. My husband thinks that's hilarious. So yeah, I'm obviously not religious in any way, shape or form. But yeah, I'm not trying to downplay Christianity or anything. Everyone is entitled to their own beliefs. But it's going to be interesting to read this, especially because I do love history, and I may end up looking up about the original inspiration for this as well, and see if I can find any information on that as well. So The Mercies by Karen Millward Hargrave is our first book. The second roll landed us on the pink triangle, and that was A Sporting Chance. And I said that this had a multitude of ways that I could take this. I could take it to have a sporting theme, I could have it a sporty title, anything really. And I have this. This is The Deal by Ellie Kennedy, and I believe that this is a sporty romance. I get the feeling like she has a, I don't know, is that a jersey and a whistle on there? Hockey team. Okay, so Hannah Wells has finally found someone who turns her on, but while she might be confident in every other area of her life, she's carting around a full set of baggage when it comes to sex and seduction. So if she wants her crush's attention, she'll have to step out of her comfort zone and make him take notice. Even if it means tutoring the annoying, childish, cocky captain of the hockey team in exchange for a pretend date. So pretend dating, I'm assuming it's not going to be pretend for long. So yes, I'm going to be reading this one. And for our third and final prompt, maybe this might be the time I read a book that has been on my TBR for quite some while that I know a lot of people will be happy about. But we landed on another pink triangle, and the prompt of this time was a man's name in the title. Funnily enough, that was really difficult to fulfill, but eventually, right at the back, somewhere along it, I chipped this after putting it in the video back in December. The Song of Achilles by Madeline Miller. I mentioned this in one of my 12 days of Bookmas videos, and I can't remember which one. But yes, it's maybe this is a month, maybe this is its time to shine. So we have Patroclus, awkward young prince, being exiled to the court of King Peleus and his perfect son Achilles. Despite their differences, they become friends, and then obviously, you know, Troy happens. So yeah, I'm told this is a tearjerker. I'm told that I should love this book. A lot of people do love this book, and they say it's better than Circe, and I enjoyed Circe by Madeline Miller. So yeah, this is going on for that third final prompt. So that finished gameplay, but as I have been doing recently, if I don't land on the star book or the bomb book, then I flip a coin and see which one I win. And I chose heads for my star book, tail for my bomb book. It landed on heads, so I am reading Shatter Me by Tahereh Mafi. So yes, great. Another series being started. I really shouldn't be doing that, but hopefully, as I only have 4 books on my TBR now, because I'm only using one piece on the board, maybe, just maybe, I might be able to slip in a couple of extra books during the month to continue other series that I'm in the middle of. Because the one thing about doing Bookgammon with 2 pieces on the board was it generally gave me a lot of books on my TBR. But then if I couldn't fit in the books that I needed to continue series, then that series would have to sit and wait to be finished until I could fit those books onto the TBR. So I think this is probably the best way to go. So now I do have a stack of books that I can turn to if I just can't think of what to read. But I do still have that option to pick up my shelves and continue series. So that is my January TBR for Bookgammon. So we have The Mercies by Kieran. So we have The Mercies by Kieran Millward Hargrave. We have The Deal by Elle Kennedy. We have The Song of Achilles by Madeline Miller. And our star book is Shatter Me by Tahereh Mafi. So there you go. That is this month's TBR. Thank you very much for joining me. I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you did, please like, comment and subscribe. And I will see you in the next